Alright, so thank you once again for joining us. I am G, he is J. We are here once again. We are a sense of shock. Bring you that next episode right here, right now. Talk about multiple things on PlayStation, other things that may concern gaming, but primarily we're dealing with PlayStation. It's been an eventful week, and there's been a lot to talk about. Definitely have our experiences in Dynasty Warriors 9.
Yep. Empires. Yeah.
Empires, yes.
Yeah.
And also Horizon Forbidden West. There's so much to talk about on this go ahead, whatnot. We want you to subscribe if you haven't. Hit that subscribe button. Super easy. Hit that like. Go ahead and share. And send some comments in the comment section on what you'd like to see on the next go around. Any questions you may have that we may need to answer. But without further ado, because it came out first, let's go ahead with that Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun so far. They changed up some things from the previous installment of Dynasty Warriors 9 from February of 2018. Of course, with Dynasty Warriors 9, they transitioned into the open world aspect, which seemed lacking, or left some things lacking. It was a good idea, but they didn't really execute on that in Dynasty Warriors 9. Things just seemed very empty. But in this one, they kind of changed things. They kind of gave you best of both worlds, because one of the really fun things in the previous Dynasty Warriors was, it was the small maps, and you just ran back and forth where you needed to go. And so in this one, of course, the Empires spin-off, whatever you want to call it, you can either make your own character or choose a pre-existing character, and you can either join a force, start your own force, and you just try to take over China, unify all under one ruler. So whether that be you want to start your own kingdom, whatnot, and you can recruit people. In each territory, they're called unaffiliated officers, to where they haven't pledged any allegiance to anybody, so you can try to interact with them and, cook them dinner or something, give them some wine, have like a feast with them, boost your companionship, and then eventually be like, hey, why don't you join me, and we can go, kill everybody or whatever. But what's fun is when you're in the actual battles, it's kind of gone back to that small map, where it's just in one kind of central area, and that's where you stay, and you have the different bases. But then when you're not in battle, you can go for a stroll in the city, and that's where that's when it's open world. You can just run around, do whatever, go to different towns, find the different officers out there, try to recruit them into yours, or do whatever. It definitely has more strategy than a typical main installment of Dynasty Warriors, because Dynasty Warriors is just hack and slash. As to our Empires, you have to balance so much. You have to...
Very strategic.
Very strategic. You have to make sure every time you go into battle, you have to make sure you have the rations to back it. You have to make sure you have enough gold to essentially pay your officers and whatnot to fight in your force. You got to make sure your troops are up. You have... The more you level up your characters, and you can level up people that are serving under you, the more you level them up, the more military number they get. So you might start with, you have 500 soldiers underneath you, and then you level up, and you can get up to 2,500, 3,000 soldiers, whatnot. But then after you do a battle, you lose, like some of your soldiers die, so you can't just dive right back into battle and be like, well, I just invaded them and took their territory, now let's go take them. You can do that,
but it kills the morale and the stamina.
It's not going to work in your
right,
favor, because you just went from 2,800 soldiers to now you have 500, and you're going to go try to...
They don't want to fight more. They want to rest. They're like, listen.
Yeah, but it's really fun. And then, each territory you control has its own kind of defense level. So, if you're trying to do something over here, one of your kingdoms over here gets invaded, you don't have to drop whatever you're doing to go help defend, because you have defense levels, and when it is invaded, it'll tell you, hey, your defense level right now is 20. If you just kind of let things take its course, it's going to take 15 defense away. It's going to be left at a 5 defense. And then if it gets invaded again, and that would take it under 0, then you would lose that territory if you didn't go try to help. So you can do different military affairs to upgrade your defenses, to choose a territory to upgrade its defense, which you have to have rations and gold to do. You can try to sabotage other people's kingdoms if you want to invade them, but you want to lower their defense to help you kind of get that advantage. You can do that. There's just a whole bunch of... It's so much more strategic than your typical Dynasty Warriors game. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. It definitely offers a lot of different replay value because there's different scenarios, just different things you can do. You can try to unify China with multiple different people. I just completed one playthrough last night, and I'm going to start on another one. You can also, too, different things that you choose affect what kind of ruler you are.
Okay.
So if you choose, you're always taking the high road, you're helping build people up, and you're trading with other not civilizations, but other towns, whatnot. You kind of build up that you're a people person, you're a guy for the people, you're fighting for the people, whatnot, and that'll boost certain stats to where you get specific titles that'll unlock different types of people to fight for you, different things you can equip to help you, or then likewise, you can do, if you want to sabotage bases, if you can do things that are kind of not war crimes, but not the most noble thing to do,
right?
And that can that'll make your evil meter rise,
okay.
And then so you can have, and then depending on the type of ruler you are, affects your influence of people to join you, because some people that may not belong to a kingdom like the more evil ruler that just doesn't care about people as humans, just wants to wreck house and leave, and then you have people that want to serve under someone who's noble and kind and kind of leads by example. So there's just so many different things that you have to
take into account.
And that's what I'm saying also about the replay value is, in this previous playthrough I just finished, I kind of took that noble route and tried to do my best to just do things for the people, whatnot. And so now I've already got something in mind to go do another one and kind of take that not as nice approach.
So this is Koei, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so therefore it's only on the PS4, or is this the only PS5 version, or is it on both?
Yeah, no, it's on both.
But you're playing on the PS5.
Yes.
And so
sure.
It looks remarkably better than previous Dynasty Warrior 8 Empires.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure. Like I said, it's fun. It visually it does look better. I've never gone into a Dynasty Warriors game though expecting
greatness,
God of War 2018 graphics or Spider-Man or Horizon, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
I never expected that, but it does look good. So, but no, it's been fun. I'll dive more into it, of course.
What would you say for someone that's never played the Dynasty?
If they've never played
Empires, not really Dynasty Warriors. If they've played Samurai Warriors, if they played Dynasty Warriors, but they never played Empires. They were just it doesn't seem like it seemed like a sidebar.
I mean, it definitely kind of has its own, niche of players. Because I'm not really big into strategy games, though. But I really enjoy Empires just because...
The characters?
The characters are fun. The fact that you can make your own. But it's also, it's not your typical strategy games where it's all right, you have
an RTS.
Yeah, where it's move here, now wait their turn. It's not stuff like that. You kind of have more control over what happens. But it's not super strategic. It's way more strategic than your typical Dynasty Warriors game, but it's not on that, super crazy turn-based strategy game level. It's not like that. Dynasty Tactics was a thing for a while.
Yeah.
Then Koei made that too, and I tried that and no.
Put it to the wayside.
Yeah, just immediately was I don't want that. But if no one's ever played it, I would recommend it if they've played either Samurai Wars or Dynasty Wars. If they've never played one, I wouldn't start them on Empires because it just wouldn't make any sense because the whole point of the Dynasty Warriors story, same thing with Samurai Warriors, just Dynasty Warriors being in China, Samurai in Japan, is you have different kingdoms trying to unify the country under one solidified rule. So if you don't understand the characters and what they are, you're going to kind of be lost and just kind of run around. And
I hate this game.
Yeah, exactly. But no, if you've played them before, any Dynasty Warriors game, it's definitely worth a try. Just because it still has that core Dynasty Warriors element to it, just with a little bit more stuff you can do to kind of change the course of the ancient Chinese history, if you will.
So the shocking question, does it use DualSense?
I don't think so, actually.
Oh, wow.
I haven't really noticed.
Yeah.
Just because it's so much hack and slash and so much going on, I'm always just kind of like spamming buttons trying to get to places I need to be, and every time you do a battle, you can you enact a secret plan, and so it's kind of something to help you try to get that upper hand. So whether that be you can get you just call them bandits, but you can get peasants and stuff that are just kind of civilians in the air. You can get them to like cause an uprise, but you have to like take over certain bases within like 2 minutes. And so a lot of stuff is just fast paced. So I haven't really paid attention to whether or not it uses. I don't believe it does. I think it just has its general vibration that a normal controller would have. Yeah, it has the DualShock, but not the DualSense.
Okay.
Yeah, the no haptics, as far as I know. Definitely no adaptive trigger. There's none of the pressure.
I mean, with Ghost of Tsushima, I don't think they want to compete.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Okay. Interesting. All right. And when did it come out?
The 15th came out this past Tuesday.
Okay. Excellent. Cool. Something definitely you guys should look into. It's another PS4, PS5 game that relatively is only on the PlayStation.
It's on both.
It's on Xbox? Mm-hmm. Interesting. You should definitely copy that. All right. So, of course, this Friday, we just had our Horizon Forbidden West. You could have got the Regala edition, the Collector's edition, the Special edition, the Digital Deluxe version, the digital version. Multiple different ways to get it. Some people were not aware that there is a digital code in the Regala or the Collector's Edition. They were, some people were kind of upset, but it's on the box. So you should be happy. Just look at all your contents. Make sure you look at all your contents before you go off and go crazy on somebody.
They also said it, when pre-orders were available. They were like, hey, this is the product contents code.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm one that I'm enjoying more and more of my digital collection as opposed to the collector's disc. The collector's items, whether it be the statues and a couple of things you see kind of behind me as well, are some things that I enjoy. But I'm pretty sure all those games behind me, all those statues behind me, I have the digital version of the game. So, it's more easier to utilize and not have somebody picking at you like, hey bro, can I borrow that disc? Can I borrow that disc? And then it's like 3 years later and you're like, hey man, do you have that? Oh man, I traded a GameStop. Why did you trade for a game and a game?
And of course the convenience factor.
Yes.
I want to play this game, but I don't want to get up and change discs. Oh wait, we go to the home page and just
right there.
Click it.
Right there. So either way you go about it, definitely cop this game. It's fantastic. I give my 2 thumbs up for good content. The sole fact of playing on the PlayStation 5, seeing the physics and seeing the performance mode that you can put it in. Cool thing is, spoiler alert, when you start the game, it doesn't really go to the start menu. Like, you'll see the icon of the triangle, circle, cross, and square. And in those, just like your previous Ghost of Tsushima, your Spider-Man, your Ratchet and Clank, Aloy will be in there. Maybe Aaron, I think he was in there as well. And then certain aspects of Aloy from the previous game. And then it goes into, PlayStation, then goes into the backstory of what happened in Zero Dawn. And so, for myself, playing Zero Dawn on the PlayStation 5, I was like, yeah, because that game was geared in 2017 for the PlayStation 4 Pro. So, for myself, I didn't have the Pro at that time. It wasn't until Spider-Man 2018 I got my PlayStation 4 Pro. So playing Horizon Zero Dawn on the PlayStation 5, it was just that refresh and that upgrade, and it just felt good. Granted, the melee was less to be desired, and I'm more of a melee person as I am the bow and arrow type of dude, but I mean, I've done it so much in Skyrim and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, all 3 Tomb Raiders that were just kind of rebooted. And now this one, Horizon. I was like, I like the bow and arrow. It's cool, but it's not like I prefer grapple hook. Give me a grapple hook. Using my grapple hook. But it tells a story. It goes through. Even at the end, if you haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, like,
Dude.
finish watching this and then go and play Zero Dawn. Because then you'll really enjoy diving into Forbidden West, because there is a end credit scene with Silent as well, which is really nice and something I never really expected in a game. Unlike, a Spider-Man 2018, if you haven't played that, why? And seeing Miles pretty much jump up on the ceiling, and then seeing Peter jump up on the ceiling as well, not in their costume forms, but in their
civilian
common
clothes.
sense, yeah. Civilian clothes. So that was nice. So seeing that in the game as well kind of sparked the whole shift into doing after credit scenes. And then you go into playing... No, you don't even get to play the game, because you're really just watching Aloy explore and do several things before you actually are playing the game. And it's so great that the game treats it like a movie, and you're like watching the game. And then, of course, like always, once you finish watching all of the cinematics and everything, it's time for you to pick up the controller. And I kind of wish it put you into a battle instead of like, all right, you're with this guy, Vlad? No. Varl. V-A-R-L. I keep calling him Earl in my stream.
Earl.
Yeah, brother named Earl. So he's back. He's got his nice little shag going on as well. And you give him focus as well, so he can see everything that you're seeing around in a digitized world. Then you get across a couple of Hellgast, I call them, because it really resonates from Guerrilla Games having Killzone. So I feel that Forbidden West is grabbing a lot from that franchise of Killzone and sprinkling it in Horizon to give it that bad guy feel, and knowing that Aloy can't really compete against these mechanical crazy dinosaur organic monsters, beings, entities. But somehow she finds a way, just like Drake. She finds a way to take out everything, because everybody has a weak spot after you hit them multiple times. And so you start meeting reoccurring characters that you've met in the past and seeing how they've grown and understanding what's happened since you've left from Meridia. So it's nice. It's a really good game. It uses DualSense. It uses the currency of the DualSense. Haptic feedback, I really enjoyed that. The adaptive triggers, I really haven't really felt it as much. Maybe because I'm not really a bow and arrow dude, but there are aspects that you can use of it. But I think that the graphics, the environment, the fluidity, her melee is okay. There's 2 attack for melees. There's like the light melee, and then there's the strong hold down melee, where it's like Link, where it's like, yeah! So it's really cool. I'm only, somewhat into the game. I've explored quite a bit as well, and it streamed it on yesterday. But it's that itch of a core PlayStation exclusive AAA game.
Yep.
As opposed to Sifu, which is a PlayStation. That's why I did not say PlayStation 4. I didn't say PS5 exclusive. That's why I said make sure I said it's a PlayStation exclusive game. But Sifu is a PS4 and PS5 game. But Slow Clap is a great developer. They did a really good job in nailing this game and getting a lot of people into the fray of understanding a Souls-like game, but just wanting to play more, as opposed to Demon Souls and Dark Souls like before. You're just like, I'm done. Just forget this. I can't do this. And at least with Sifu, at least you start right where you're at until you just completely die. You just old and decrepit, and you got paralysis, and you're done.
Yeah, you're too old.
You stop moving.
Yeah, your coins break.
Your coins break. That means your bones break. Each limb.
It's not Sonic. They don't go everywhere. They
Right.
just break. They just break.
So what are your thoughts on seeing Horizon Forbidden West?
I can't wait to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely gonna go home and get that downloaded tonight. I already knew I wanted to play it. Same thing with Sifu. I knew I wanted to play it. And then in both instances, watched you stream it, and then I was like 5 minutes in, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get that. So I was like that last night, watching you play, and then of course another guy that I watch, he was posting some playthroughs and stuff, and like I was telling you, when that title pops up to either do new game, continue, I was like, I have to see that on my screen. I need to see that.
So what Jay's talking about is that once you finally get to a save point and everything, and you stop your game and you want to go back to the main menu, it's a beachfront. And mostly it's the West Coast, if you will, because the game is considered of leaving where you're at and going towards the West. And it'll explain more in the game on why you're going over there. I don't want to give away too much. Spoilers, yes, but some other things I don't want to give away too much because it's fun in discovering some things as well. And even if I tell you, it's best to discover on your own at the same time. So you have that shorefront of the waves, but also you have these red leafy organisms, if you will, kind of like leaving out spores, and it's poisonous, and it's been affecting the wildlife, or what's left of wildlife that's trying to grow, whether it's animals, because there's a fox in it, which reminds me so much of Ghost of Tsushima. With the foxes, you don't want to see any animals hurt at all, but it's your job to make sure that you're trying to extract and find out what's going down and why these roots are causing these spores to sprout out. Almost like Devil's Breath.
Oh.
Almost like that, and almost like the clickers from The Last of Us. Kind of like that spore stuff. That's what it reminds me of. So you can easily go in it, but there's that, which is a red toxin that goes in the air of spores, and then there's like an actual green toxic that's coming out as well, whether it's the mechanical monsters. They have, everybody has such a different name. And if they're spewing out stuff, you know, you could get hurt from that as well. It seems as if I'm so used to dying in Sifu that when you don't die instantly, you're not one hit. You're like, oh wow, I'm still alive. I'm still in this. I can win this. Let's go.
Is this one easy? What's going on? What happened?
But really, really fun game. I feel that a lot of people need to grasp it. I know it's still early. A lot of people are trying to see reviews. A lot of people are trying to see gameplay. A lot of people are trying to hear people's outtakes on it. But it's a really, really good game, and it's hard to decide what you want to play. And that's why we're here, to make it easier for you guys, so you know. Normally, when I've said things in the past, like, you need to play this game, or hey, this will be game of the year, it turns out to be good. I don't mind being wrong, but 9 times out of 10, if I dare say, 9.75% of the time out of 10% of the time, or actually 97% of the time out of 100, I would be right, because I know what I'm talking about. I want to be truthful. I want you to explore and experience. Like, Call of Duty will always be there. I'm not going to shoot that down at all, no pun intended. But it's always there, and it's got its own niche, and that's good. But time is very precious. Hacking is not fun. And frustration is real, and you don't want to experience that every time you're playing a game, because when you're playing games, it's a stress reliever. It's something you're getting away from society and just having fun, whether it's playing with friends or just people around the world. But when you're playing a single player game by yourself and just enjoying that campaign, it just immerses you, and you're like, cool. And that's what we want to do. We want you to understand that there's other games out there as well, aside from your Fortnites and Call of Duties, and those are in their own little niche, which is great. But there's this whole other piece of the pie that has so many other great things to offer. So with Dynasty, Warriors 9, Empires with Horizon Forbidden West, those are just this week alone. I mean, when we look past to Dying Light 2, when we look to the future, next week, mind you, Elden Ring as well. You have those that come into the fray. Of course, I'll be talking about the WWE 2K22 because it's just like my
it hits
go-to.
Different. It hits different.
It hits different. It hits so hard.
I am ready to see that game though. Just visually, the things I've seen so far.
I can't believe that they're giving back the showcase mode because it really just wasn't advertised. Like we knew that Rey Mysterio would be on the cover, but now bringing back the showcase and having high graphics as well, high fidelity, if you will, or high performance, you have to where you can have the showcase where in a showcase mode, let me break that down real quick in case for those that don't know. A showcase mode is considering one wrestler and going through their story in a certain part of their career, and they'll give you behind the scenes of sitting down, like talking to you and saying, hey, this is what happened. I was defending this title and I had a grudge against this guy and we had our match at this event. And then you start to play that event with that wrestler. So for instance, in this scenario, it would be Rey Mysterio. So Rey Mysterio was defending the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. Boy, I want to say, and I'm probably going to get shot. We'll just say SummerSlam. I'm never going to incriminate myself. SummerSlam against Dolph Ziggler. And you're playing as Rey Mysterio, but there are objectives in the match that you have to perform. So whether it's, kick a couple of times and then bounce him up against the ropes or throw him up against the ropes, and then it'll cause a cutscene, a CG cutscene, not an actual video package, but just a CG cutscene will do that. But in this game, 2K22, you'll be doing that, and as it goes to the CG, then it's going to cut into actual live footage of that actual match. So you're seeing that happen. This is what I've seen. So this is what I'm assuming that they're going to be keeping true, and not just trying to play with my eyes. So they show that and show how they really tried to harness and keep it close to the actual footage and the actual event of that showcase. And then it goes back to you playing. And then, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat. And then you would proceed to the next mission, if you will, of his showcase. So I'm really excited to see, because we all know Rey Mysterio. He's been around in everybody's that I can think of. Everybody's got a glimpse of Rey Mysterio. He's a household name. Mm-hmm. Whether way back in the WCW days, Rey Mysterio Jr. Now he's Rey Mysterio, senior, I guess. Junior senior. So I'm really excited to talk about that once I get my hands on it. It's already...
is that next month?
It's next month, on the 8th of next month. So,
that's not too far away.
It's not too far away. I'll have some time to dive into that, get my grubby paws on it, see what PS5 content, as far as DualSense, haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, what cool little things it does with the touchpad. I'm really intrigued. I want to see what that's going to bring to the table.
Yeah. Looking forward to that, and then just even beyond, and out of the immediate future, later this year, God of War. Just
I mean, it's 2022. We're here.
Yeah. I'm hoping that leaked September 30th date holds true.
It would make
bumped
sense.
Forward. I wouldn't complain.
I would prefer it September 30th. There are certain times that you can forget about a game that came out in the first or second quarter of the year. I'd be more concerned on, if not the fourth quarter, but primarily the third quarter, but mostly the fourth quarter of the year, are the Game of the Year games. God of War came out. I had preached that would be Game of the Year. And then it came out.
And it's going to be Red Dead.
And I was like, you can put your Red Dead in quarantine in a coffin because it's going to die, because there's no competition. Like, Rockstar is great. I have Infinity for it. It's fantastic company. They did great with Grand Theft Auto. They did cool with Bully. They did fantastic and awesome job with Midnight Club. Red Dead, to me, just felt sluggish. And so, a lot of people don't know, but Red Dead Revolver was the first Red Dead, and that was by Capcom. And Capcom sold the rights over to Rockstar, and so Rockstar started publishing it. And then Grand Theft Auto did their thing, and Midnight Club came out as well. Bullet came out on 360. It was on the PS3, but mostly known on the 360. Because I think it was the Scholarship Edition. It was on the... That's what it was. It was on PS2 and Xbox, but when 360 came out, they came out with the Scholarship Edition. And like I said, the Midnight Club came out, and then that fizzled out. I don't know why. And then Grand Theft Auto was just going. Red Dead Redemption came out. Undead Nightmare came out shortly after. And then everybody was just clamoring for a Red Dead Redemption 2. And I was like, you don't really need to, because it's kind of a full package. And then it was like, no, we want John Marston. Like, I mean, okay, you're not going to get him. And they were like, yep, you're not going to get him. We're going to talk about something completely different, a prequel before all this.
We're going to call this Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's a prequel to Red Dead Redemption. So technically, Red Dead Redemption is Red Dead Redemption 2. Pulling a George Lucas crap on here, just Star Wars. Just this is what we're going to do.
But it didn't work. It didn't work because it didn't win Game of the Year.
It didn't.
That's what the name of the game was. And even if God of War did not come out, especially 2018, Spider-Man would have won Game of the Year. To have two concrete... I mean, it was great for, what, last year when you had Returnal and you had Ratchet and Clank, which are PlayStation exclusives, just even being mentioned in the Game of the Year conversation. It was very reminiscent to that 2018 where God of War and Spider-Man were in conversation of being Game of the Year, which, like I said, I had already known. Just because I knew the power of Kratos, not the actual power, but, just the name of Kratos. Kratos, God of War was very likened to Mortal Kombat. Like, people knew about Street Fighter, and I mean, I love Street Fighter, but Mortal Kombat, there have been so many people, like my wife knows about Mortal Kombat. Back in school, there was just talk of Mortal Kombat. It was technically the first Mortal Kombat had to go to Congress, and that's where the ESRB came from, because it was just so gory, so bloody. Terminator didn't even take it to that level. But Mortal Kombat was just so gory, so gritty. So with God of War, you had the first one, and I don't think it was well known because it was like lost in the shuffle of PS2. But when the second one was announced, you could go to your local electronics boutique. I don't think they turned to EB Games yet. But you could pre-order God of War 2, and they would give you a demo of God of War 2, and you'd fight the Colossus at level. And the cool thing about me is that, fun fact, I was working at Game Crazy at the time, and I went over there into the mall, and I pre-ordered the game for $5, knowing I wasn't going to buy the game there. I'm like, whatever, you can do whatever with $5. But I made sure I got that demo disc, went back to my store. We actually had kiosks to where you could play games there. And I'd put that disc in, and that's how we racked up our pre-orders, because ultimate opportunist, Money in the Bank, and it was such a big success, and that was just a demo that you could not stop playing because it was like in those the Pizza Hut type of days where you got your demo disc and you
had like 5 games on it.
Right.
Yeah. Good old days.
Fantastic. So me knowing and hyping up Kratos, and although you did all you could in Greek mythology with God of War 1, 2, 3, Ascension, Ghost of Sparta, Chains of Olympus, you have a new path, and it's Norse mythology. And it's just giving you sprinkles of seeing it's Norse mythology without really saying, hey, this is going to be Norse mythology. Because with all the winteriness, it's just like, oh, okay, I guess. And then once they showed that halftime NBA.
On the court.
Yes. I would like that again. Please give it to me again, because that was I don't think I could be in that stadium. No, it was a stadium. It was
It was a stadium. NBA stadium.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it was at a Warriors game.
Okay. I couldn't be there because the angle that they had, it looked
weird.
Yeah. Because you see something breaking over there, but you weren't sure how it was going, and you wouldn't really be able to see the depth. I don't know how they projected that to just show where it looked like they were falling through that ice cavern when that troll came up.
It was so nice. Just built so much more hype for that game.
And so, this is what? February. We don't know E3. We don't know the Summer Games Fest that they're going to be having. What's really going to be launched for later this year. I mean, supposedly leaks of sequel of the 2019 Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone 2 Call of Duty has been announced coming out, but everything else is just in speculation. You think things are coming out. I mean, Metroid Prime 4 is supposed to be coming out. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. We know games that won't be coming out this year will be Spider-Man 2 ain't coming out. Wolverine ain't coming out.
No. That's not even next year.
That's in the future.
That's probably earliest 24. Earliest.
Last of Us Factions is supposed to be...
That new Star Wars Eclipse.
Oh.
Which I'm pretty sure I read that one said earliest will be like 26.
Right. And then we don't even have the Hogwarts game.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's and Stray, which was that cat game.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that they had in that presentation. Final Fantasy 16. So many things that presentation. They're just like it'll come out when it comes out. Like I was very happy that we actually got Sifu in 2022. So I'm like, all right, you guys are starting to give us what we want. I mean, you gave us Miles. Like you gave us like Prime Rib right there, and that was just. I was doing my best to take time to just. Dive into each piece and savor each piece and not even need any A1 sauce or Heinz 57. Just really take my time with it. And then it was over.
And then they followed up with Ratchet.
Oh, yeah.
Which was so much fun. Mm-hmm. So much fun.
I would... if you haven't, once again, that's a game. That's a staple. I love how I've engaged a lot of people to play that game. In conversation, like, hey, have you played? No, that's a kiddie game. Cool. I hear you. I understand. And I'm sorry you feel this way.
Here's why you're wrong.
But here's why you're wrong. Do you have a PlayStation 5? Yes. Do you have a PS5 controller? Yes. Why do you not have this game? Because it's such a great story. It is, I mean, I've heard maybe a handful of people say it's predictable, but I'm not trying to play a game for predictability. I'm trying to play it for the story. And to see what story they're trying to take me on. If it seems predictable, cool, whatever. That's what I paid for, predictability. But at least I'm enjoying it every step of the way. And you can engage with the controller as well. The music is the sound. The sound and music, which is two separate things, are so great because one thing about the Ratchet and Clank games that are really cool, if you're playing with a surround sound or you're playing with headphones, when you're smashing boxes, that's always been a long feature that they've had in breaking the crates, so to speak. But as you get the bolts that they come to, you can hear it just going, and also onto the controller as well.
The club. I know you're getting there, but we're just gonna go ahead and get there.
Just take us there. Just open the door.
Yeah, I mean the club, because that's what, and we'll get back to the club. I promise. That's what got me really wanting to get the game. Same thing with Horizon Forbidden West. So PS5 comes out, we get Miles. So much fun. Cool. Now what? Okay, I got Ratchet.
Yeah.
So much fun. Now what? And so, like you were talking about, that's how I am with Horizon. It's scratching that itch. Like at Seafood, it was fun. Cool. Great. I liked it. I want that AAA, like, give me that, like, studio that Sony owned. Like, give me that. That's what I want. But with Ratchet, I had known the series, I just never played the series. And, speaking onto with the DualSense controller and things like that, graphically the game looked fantastic. A lot of games, I know I want, so I buy. But then there's some games, Ratchet and Siege, where I'm like, I kind of want it, I'm going to watch something on it. And so I did that with Ratchet. And it doesn't take long to convince me, especially if I'm already like, I want to. I see one cool thing, I'm like, all right. But, when I was watching the guy that I watch play it, and he was doing the things where you have the little rift portals and you like shoot your gun in it, or you shoot the wrist thing and it pulls you in.
Grapple hook!
The grapple hook and all the different things. And then when I actually got my hands on it and played it, the DualSense truly adds... A side note also, real fast. We don't hate Xbox. We're just primarily PlayStation fanatics.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and put it out on the table. Like, I have a Nintendo Switch.
He has a Switch. There's an Xbox back there.
Series X. Microsoft loves me so much they gave me a free Xbox Series X. So let's go ahead and put that on the table.
We don't hate the other things, but we've always just been PlayStation people, and so that's where our main excitement comes around. So don't feel like we're just trying to dog on the other consoles. We're not. We're excited for what PlayStation does, and we're not upset with something another company
we'll tell you when trash is there.
Yeah.
PlayStation has delivered some garbage, but
for sure.
That's not what we're here. We're here to play everything known to man if we can, within reason. I'm not gonna play everything known to man. That we can, and then give you the greatness that it has, and what unveiling what it has, like a present, just unveiling everything. Because
greatness awaits.
Yes, greatness awaits.
Yes. Anywho, side note,
Club Nefarious.
Yes. So with the DualSense, that's what made that game so much more fun, and that's what is so intriguing to look forward to with other PlayStation games. Is I had never played a Ratchet game before, but that game looks so fun with, the high visuals, the high fidelity graphics and all that, and then the haptics. When I finally got it in my hand, it truly enhances that game experience. Because yes, God of War 2018, my favorite video game of all time. God of War is my favorite franchise. Story alone, that game was fantastic. That's why it won Game of the Year. It was just fantastic. So story is really fun, and stories make games worthwhile. Same thing with Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales, it was good stories that make them worthwhile, also while being fun to play. But now with the DualSense controller, you have that extra element added to where it's so cool to feel those added elements. Club Nefarious, for example, on top of the sound, you've got you're outside the club when you're trying to find the little hidden informant or whatever to help you get off this planet, and you're outside the club, and you can club's here, you can turn to your right, you'll hear it in your right headset, you can turn to your left, hear it in your left. But then that's just okay, that's just standard video game stuff. I can play Call of Duty, and if someone runs past my right, I'll hear it. That's nice. But with Ratchet, you can turn, you look left, and you'll hear the bass from the club on your right side, but then the right side of your controller starts pulsing to the bass. And those things right there is what makes it, just elevates that experience of what you're playing and truly gets you more into it. Because I've played games with cool sound design before, so it's nifty, cool, you have good cool bass sound, I like that, yay, good job. Oh wait a minute, what am I feeling? I'm feeling something I've not normally felt. And that's what turned me on and made me fall in love with Ratchet and Clank with Rift Apart so much, is all the different elements. Every weapon felt unique, had its own kind of rumble to it. The resistance on the triggers, especially with your main blaster pistol, whatever the name of it may be, you can do a half pull and you'll feel that tension, and it shoots it kind of not semi-auto, but it shoots it very slow. And then you can do a full trigger pull, and it just starts unloading. And
like that Rhino.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was just so much fun. Just experience. It just adds a whole new element and more layers on top of any game. Really, it doesn't have to be a PlayStation exclusive. There's plenty of games that Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War did it with the different guns you would use. If you had a pistol and you went to ADS, you felt a little bit of tension on that on the left trigger, but then if you got a sniper out and you go to ADS, you have to push a little harder and you feel more tension. So it's just so cool to see with this DualSense where things are about to go outside of just awesome storytelling, awesome visuals and graphics and fun gameplay. And like what you said, is it adds so much more immersion to that, because now I don't feel like I'm in the game but the controllers, but you feel in the game. You're so much more connected to what's happening. You can feel the different environments you're running. I know we talked about that with Astrobot in the previous podcast, but you can feel the different environments you're running on. If it's raining, you can feel like the raindrops like smacking the controller. Yes, and there's so many things that just really put you in that zone of, not like mentally in the zone, but put you in that zone of the character. Like you're truly almost like a first person. Like you're feeling all these things without really being in there.
So it's like a 4D experience instead of a 3D. And the thing that the DualSense brings, we just keep bringing it around, is that it complements the game. It's like another player helping you out to really put you into the game. Just like if you put 3D glasses on. And even for those that haven't, if you can recall the first time you played the Nintendo 64 and you put that Rumble Pack in and you're playing, Donkey Kong 64, it's just like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I didn't know. Wow. Playing GoldenEye with it as well, you can feel that rumble as well when you're getting shot so many times, your meter's turning red and everything. It's a complement. It's adding another feature, so therefore you're actually feeling what you're playing instead of just seeing what you're playing. You're like, okay, so it immerses you into the game. Even with Club Nefarious, like we were talking about, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, to have that experience, to know, to be in a club, to have been to a club. I've been to some, not many, but I've been to some clubs, but to know that when you're outside, you just feel that bass just going to town, just boom, boom, boom. So it's like you feel it in your chest. You're like, okay, this place is bumping. I need to get in there. And then you get in there, and it's just like the sound feels like it's coming from every direction, and you're just like, you want to concern where it's coming from, but also you want to get to the dance floor at the same time.
You just want to enjoy the moment.
You want to enjoy the moment.
You want to get in
there. So the thing with Ratchet, which had me just wilding out, is yes, having it hit to the right side as well, and then like, let me experiment, let me see what happens if I turn, and then it hits to the left. Okay, let me go ahead and just completely turn around, and it's just like back there. It's so great. That was an awesome feeling, and I'm waiting to see what more developers, once they have this PS5 in their possession, once they have the DualSense, what are they going to offer us as gamers? Ones that want to purchase these games and explore their stories that they're trying to tell, and how they can incorporate the DualSense into that as well. Because yes, it's a little disheartening if they don't have that in a PS5 game, but I don't want to have to revert to playing a PS4 game on a PS5, because the DualShock is on the PS4, and that's great, but I want you to focus more on PS5 games, because I know a lot of people, there have been multiple chances to purchase a PlayStation 5 at a reasonable cost, not that markup, which in no way, shape, or form should you have to pay that markup cost, because there's connections out there. I mean, I helped, your friend out. I helped you out. I helped your friend out. Yep. I've helped out many of people that I knew that wanted it, because
who you know, not what you know.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. And it's just, striking when the iron's hot, using wisdom. I'm not saying that I have a bunch of it, but I have some to give. I have ample amount to give, and I want people to explore and experience this console, because there's so much more coming out. I wasn't gonna say on the horizon.
No pun.
I'm not gonna say it. But it's there's so much more, and we are consistently having so much to talk about. So definitely, check us out. We've got so much more to give. This is just only the second episode. We hope that you enjoyed just this little sit-down session with us as well. Like I said before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That helps us out, makes the channel grow. We want to grow together, so therefore we can give you this awesome content and give you our honest feedback. You know, we'll let you know when something's hot trash, you know, if it needs to be in a burning rubble and dumped down a hill. And then,
Battlefield.
You mean Battlefield 1?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got some. They got Need for Speed.
Yeah.
They got Need for Speed.
Yeah.
I mean, they came back with, you know, Hot Pursuit Remastered. They're like, all right, hold up. We're not going to give you Most Wanted Remastered, the 2012 version, because then you guys will complain about why didn't you bring back the 2007 version of Need for Speed Most Wanted. So we're just going to go ahead and give you Hot Pursuit Remastered, because you can't complain about that. That'll hold you over for a little bit while we think about our next move. Because they knew that Midnight Club was on the horizon. I feel that's on the horizon, but that's another story. And definitely hit that like as well. So we want to get this.
Share it with your friends.
Up. Share it with your friends. You know, let your fools know. Let the fools know and let the fam know.
Any questions you have in the comments, leave them there. We're always on. We're active. We'll answer truthfully.
Yeah.
Just ask us whatever question you got on your mind.
Yeah.
And we'll answer it.
Yeah, and if you want to see some great gaming action, go ahead and follow me on that twitch.tv/Glorious Reason. I can show you some good times of gaming, and then we can come back here and do it all over again. All over again. Until then, we'll see you when I see you.